Death of children younger than 5 is reported to be 5.3 million around the world in 2018, according to a UNICEF report. About 45% of deaths were due to undernutrition. In 2018, there were 18.1 million new cases and 9.5 million cancer-related deaths worldwide. By 2040, the number of new cases per year is expected to rise to 29.5 million and the number of cancer-related deaths to 16.4 million. On the Amazing and Sexy Silver Wolf Commander YouTube channel, more than 50% of viewers are not subscribed. It's time for change. Please, subscribe. There's a couple of ways to help support this channel, and the easiest way is to like and subscribe. Wow, so easy! Another easy way to help support me is by using my affiliate links in the description. And the final way you can help support the channel is by supporting me directly by becoming a patron, where you can vote for patron selected commanders and get some behind the scenes action. The best way to help grow this channel is with the help of you guys. This video is sponsored by Collect Edition. They have a huge commander inventory and worldwide shipping, so check them out with the link in the description. So I did the Tollivar deck tech, and all these little Twilight fans wrote to me asking for a vampire deck tech, and I was like, vampires? But they suck.
I was just kidding.
Get it? I really enjoyed doing the 2021 Kalia deck tech, and I think it's time to see what new toys Edgar Markov got in the past couple of years. Plus, it's October. We already got Tollivar, Edgar Markov. Things are looking pretty much on theme for Halloween. Next up, zombies maybe? Who knows? Who knows? Edgar, Jabroni, Markov. You know this guy. 6 mana, Mardu Commander, 4/4, Eminence. Whenever you cast another vampire spell, if Edgar Markov is in a command zone or the battlefield, create a 1/1 black vampire creature token.
You're a dork.
First strike, haste, and whenever he attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control. Love him or hate him, he's the bee's knees of tribal decks. The damned to my damnation, the bitter to my bitter blossom, the deep anal to my deep analysis. Let the nonsense begin. First off, some new cool and sexy vampires. I jammed as much as I possibly could because that's kind of the goal of making an Edgar Markov deck nowadays, seeing some sweet ass tasty new shenanigans. Malkin Path Shitfighter. 1 mana, 2/1 vampire, pay 2, discard a card, sacrifice a vampire, draw 2 cards, activate only if an opponent lost life this turn. Notice here, you don't need to tap this jabroni. You can keep paying 2 and sacrificing a vampire, then bada bing, bada boom, all-star vampire card draw. Next up, Bloodthirsty Adversary. 2 mana, 2/2, haste. Whenever Bloodthirsty Adversary enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counter on Bloodthirsty Adversary, then exile up to that many target instant or sorcery cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard and copy them. You may cast any number of copies without paying their mana cost. The whole cycle of adversaries are pretty dope from Innistrad, and we just happen to have a vampire. Yay! She's pretty bonkers late game, making you recast your Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor, Clamperic Pooter.
I need my Christmas present.
Vampire Social Media List. 2 mana, 2/2 menace. When Vampire Socialist enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each other vampire you control. Pretty nice. As long as an opponent lost life this turn, each other vampire you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Ever wondered what to do with your non-social vampires? Just introduce them to Vampire Socialist. This guy has the best stories ever, I swear. Never a dull moment when he's on the board. Oh my god.
Have a great time!
Florian Voldaren Scion, yes. 3 mana, 3/3 first strike. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, look at the top X card of your library, where X is the total amount of life your opponent lost this turn. Exile one of those cards and put the rest on your bottom of your library in a random order. You may play the exile card this turn. I want to have as many vampires in this deck as I humanly can, or as I vampirely can. So having good card advantage on vampires really butters my egg roll. Vampire Nighthawk. Ew! Nighthawk Scavenger. Yes. Vang Bitch Coven. 3 mana, 3/3 menace. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1 black. If you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Yes, once again, I had Victimize originally in the deck list, and then I saw this sweet little potato vampire. Card advantage on a vampire plus procs Edgar Markov, so goodbye Victimize. Porn of the Dusk Rose. 3 mana, 1/3. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Pay 5. Creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. One of my favorite vampires of all time. Of all time. You'll see we are running a little life gain sub-theme in here, but shh, that's for later on. Now for our usual suspects. The OG vampires that will always be in our hearts. Forever. No, not you, Edward. Viscera Beer. Yes, 1 mana, 1/1. Sacrifice a creature. Scry 1. Probably the single best numero uno sack outlet for commander, and he just happens to be a vampire. And would you look at that? Would you look at it? Look. Blood Rapist. 2 mana, 0/1. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Well, does what vampires do best. Suck the life out of your opponents. Talking about sucking, here's another sucker. Sanctum Sucker. 4 mana, 3/4. Whenever a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Pretty scary once you start stacking your vampire tokens.
Well, he's dead then.
Draina, Liberator of Malakir. That's pretty bonkers. 3 mana, 2/3, flying, first strike. Whenever Draina, Liberator of Malakir deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creatures you control. Yes! Now, who doesn't like +1/+1 counters? You tell me. Post Malone? Didn't think so. Shmordial Vampire, 2 mana, 1/1. Whenever Shmordial Vampire, another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control.
I'm not good.
That's some sweet ass shenanigans. You can do this at instant speed by sacking some creatures during the end step. I love it. Bedtime Keeper, yes. 4 mana, 3/3 flying. Tap, put a 2/2 black vampire creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Pay 1 black, transform Bloodline Keeper. Activate this only if you control 5 or more vampires. And he transforms into Lord of Lineage. 5/5 flying. Other vampires you control get +2/+2. Tap to make a token. OG and OP makes tokens, makes them bigger with the anthem. Tokens and anthem. Them. Glen Elenda, the Dusk Rose. 4 mana, 1/1 lifelink. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Elenda. When Elenda dies, create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is Elenda's power. OG card. Remember when this card was like $1? Just kidding, it's always been pretty expensive, and there's a reason why. Stormcare Captain, 3 mana, 2/2, first strike. Other vampire creatures you control have +1/+1 and have first strike. And Legion Lieutenant, 2 mana, 2/2. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. Now, who doesn't like anthems? You tell me. Post Malone didn't think so. Sorin, Lord of Innistrad, 4 mana, 3 loyalty counters, +1. Put a 1/1 black vampire creature token with lifelink onto the battlefield, -2. The sauce. You get an emblem. Creatures you control get +1/+0. That's pretty bonkers. -6. Destroy up to 3 target creatures and or planeswalkers. Return each card put into a graveyard this way onto the battlefield under your control. How many planeswalkers you can play to get an emblem the second they hit the field? Big Daddy Sorin can. And Bloodlord of Asgoth. 5 mana, 3/3, Bloodthirst 3, flying. Whenever you cast a vampire creature spell, it gains Bloodthirst 3. One of the most expensive vampires, but hey, putting 3 +1/+1 counters on your vampires seems pretty freaking bonkers, so voila.
Not to be weird, it's just expensive.
Now for some finishers that don't suck. I said we had a life gain sub-theme in here, which gives a lot of reach to the deck, meaning you can win without necessarily attacking, which is nice to have in an aggro deck. Sangromancer, 4 mana, 3/3 flying. Whenever a creature an opponent controlled dies, you may gain 3 life. Whenever an opponent discards a card, you may gain 3 life. Gains a lot of life when creatures die, and fits perfectly with Sanguine Bond and Veto. Yes, whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. That's some sweet shenanigans with Sangromancer, making you pretty much board wipe proof, cause if someone wipes and kills all your opponent's creatures, that's gonna trigger Sangromancer, giving you a lot of life, and draining your opponents for a lot of life with Sanguine Bond and Veto. And you can't have Sanguine Bond without Exhibit Blood. 5 mana, whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Wombo combo with Sanguine Bond or Veto, but it's not necessarily the goal here, it's freaking bonkers on its own. Yes, it is a $50 card as we speak, maybe not the best for a budget deck, but hey, if you're poor, you shouldn't be watching my videos. Exsanguinate. Good old X2 black. Each opponent loses X life, you gain life equal to the life lost this way. I know, pay mana, win the game.
Gross, how can you be that stupid?
No.
I am good at magic, daddy. True Conviction, 6 mana, creatures you control have double strike and lifelink. A bit spicy but can end the game pretty quickly. Attacking is so underrated, oh my god. Oh yeah, a new card, the Meat Hook Massacre.
It's the meat.
X2 black. Whenever the Meat Hook Massacre enters the battlefield, each creature gets -X until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you gain 1 life. Yes! Hey ho, let's go! I love this card. Man, with a bunch of vampires out and exquisite blood, that's probably GG. Katar's Crusade. Yes, sir. 5 mana. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 encounter on each creature you control. I mean, cast a vampire, get a trigger from Markov, make another vampire, get another. What the fudge?
That's pretty good.
And of course, Coat of Arms. 5 mana, each creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield that shares at least one creature type with it. Winter is coming. Give this coat to your vampires. That's all for today, folks. I promise you this deck sucks, but not in the way you're thinking. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one.